Today on NewsCenter, we investigate the struggle small businesses face in Moorhead, take a look at the recent campus dance concert Shifting Ground.
If you can count to 7, pat your foot, you can play the dulcimer.
And check out the Kentucky Proud Expo. All this and more today on NewsCenter.
Good evening and welcome to NewsCenter. I'm Jacob Miller.
And I'm Kinsey Thompson. Thanks for joining us. Here's your headlines for April 21st, 2016.
MSU President Dr. Wayne Andrews held 2 forums this week to talk to faculty and staff about where the university stands and how the budget cuts handed down by Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin will affect the university and where cuts will be made. NewsCenter's Leanne Zaproni joins us with more.
Now recognizing when you see the numbers, there are going to be some hard decisions.
There's no denying MSU students, faculty, and staff are concerned about the budget cuts. To help clarify what the university is facing, President Andrews held a series of forums to answer questions and concerns being expressed by many.
The focus yesterday and today principally has been to remind people that we have a vision for the future at Morehead State University, and it's about creating 21st century opportunities, but we also then have the practical matter of the budget that we're dealing with, and the budget that we face even this current fiscal year has reductions in it, as well as in the biennial budget beginning July 1st. So the largest part of the conversation is what is the budget shortfall potentially.
Dozens of faculty and staff members piled in during the forums to see what decisions, if any, had been made, especially when it comes down to what departments, majors, or programs could be on the chopping block.
Well, I did not hear the provost say, in fact, he said the opposite. He said there weren't any reorganizations tied to this budget. So I've not seen a list yet. I don't know if there are going to be recommendations to eliminate. But if there were any recommendations to eliminate, it would be based on the nature of the program itself. Probably programs with few students in it. You know, that may not be programs where there's much interest in the marketplace. I would think that's where you would go. But at this moment, I have no knowledge of any of those.
However, President Andrews says that whatever decisions are made will be made in the best interest of the students and the university.
Well, yeah, I mean, the reality is that countries, states all across the nation are facing very similar problems that we have. We're coming out of an economic recovery the recession started in 06, and it's been really tough. The country is beginning to rebound, and we still have some challenges. So, you know, higher education is going to continue to be a very, very important commodity for people. It's the way to move the country forward. It's the way to eliminate poverty. It's the way to improve the democracy. And most well-thinking people know that. We have a bright future. We just have to work through this current set of situations, and it may take us a year or two to do that. But I'm a firm believer that Morehead State University, we have a history going back to 1887, and a very robust present, and we'll have a robust future.
For NewsCenter, I'm Leanne Zaproni.
Leanza, thanks. The new budget for the 2016-2017 fiscal year goes into effect July 1st. As more details are released and ironed out, we'll continue to update you.
Secretary of State Allison Lonergan Grimes was on campus last week to talk about Kentucky's new online voting registration system. NewsCenter's Chad Hedrick was there and joins us from the NewsCenter newsroom with more. Chad?
That's right. Kentucky recently became the 31st state to offer online voter registration, making it easier for citizens to not only register, but also update their voting information without even having to leave their home. Allison Lonergan Grimes spearheaded this legislation and spent the last few weeks touring the Commonwealth to show off the new site. And one of her stops brought her right here to MSU.
It's a sign of the dramatic improvements in technology, people now being able to go online to register to vote.
It's been overwhelming. Folks have been demanding online voter registration for quite some time. I have all former living secretaries of state standing up with me in support of this effort. This has been something that Kentuckians have wanted because it makes the process easier. At the end of the day, it shouldn't take a political scientist or a lawyer to figure out what the election laws are. This actually brings the process to the people. They can go online and register to vote just like they do in paying their bills and paying their taxes.
Grimes' Go Vote Kentucky tour brought her to every public state college and university in Kentucky, where she says the response to the website has been great.
It's been an amazing tour since the launch of Go Vote Kentucky in the middle of March. We have seen folks from all over the Commonwealth, over 70,000 folks that have gone on and been a part of this experience, and really excited that over 18,000 folks have actually used the website to update their registration or register to vote.
The website can be accessed on any computer as well as Apple devices. However, those with Androids may see a problem, but Grimes says the issues are being addressed and even an app is in the works.
We want to encourage everybody, if they're having any experience that is positive or otherwise they want to give some constructive criticism, that's how we continue to improve something that is history making here in the Commonwealth, and to reach out to the State Board of Elections. Very excited about the very positive reviews that we've had all across the Commonwealth. My hope was that this system would be ready in time for the presidential election and to be able to have it launched well in advance before the close of the voter registration deadline, and importantly, the presidential primary coming up. It's very exciting as the chief election official to see.
Now, Grimes also talked to reporters about the early voting bill that was proposed during the recent legislative session. That bill would allow citizens to vote early without an excuse like they do now. The bill passed through the House, but the Senate did not bring it up for a vote. We should also mention that this past Monday was the deadline in order to be eligible to vote in the May primary. In the NewsCenter newsroom, I'm Chad Hedrick.
Thanks, Chad. Kentucky's primary is May 17th. And remember, on the presidential side of the primary, only registered Democrats will be voting. Registered Republicans voted in a caucus back in March where Donald Trump won the state.
Voters in New York went to the polls Tuesday for the Empire State's presidential primary. Hometown favorites Republican Donald Trump and Democrat Hillary Clinton were the big winners, with Trump beating second-place finisher John Kasich by a whopping 35 percentage points. Clinton defeated her opponent Bernie Sanders by 16 points. After Tuesday's contest, Trump leads Kasich and Ted Cruz with 845 of the 1,237 delegates needed for the nomination. Clinton leads Sanders by almost 800 delegates with 1,930 delegates. She needs 2,383 to snag the party's nomination. Voters in 5 other New England states will go to the polls this coming Tuesday.
The federal appeals court has dismissed a lawsuit Round County Clerk Kim Davis filed against the state that required her to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples that included her name. Davis refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples, claiming it violated her religious beliefs. The American Civil Liberties Union sued her on behalf of 2 gay couples and 2 straight couples last year. A federal judge ordered Davis to issue the licenses. Davis sued then Democratic Governor Steve Beshear, saying the forms violated her religious beliefs. Beshear left office in December. When Republican Governor Matt Bevin assumed office, he signed an executive order removing the names of county clerks from marriage license forms. The court dismissed the case, saying Davis is not experiencing irreparable harm. The ACLU's lawsuit is still pending.
Some drama going on in Frankfurt after Governor Matt Bevin is claiming his administration uncovered, quote, greed and oftentimes corruption in former Governor Steve Beshear's administration. During a news conference Tuesday, Bevin made multiple allegations against the Beshear administration. Bevin said he plans to hire a private law firm to investigate his predecessor for what he alleges were potentially illegal procurement practices. He says the law firm will have the power to subpoena witnesses and records. Bevin told reporters, quote, a third independent investigation like this can expose and cast light upon prior unsavory and perhaps illegal practices, but can also provide the public a degree of confidence in a fair and transparent governance that was so glaringly absent in the past administration, end quote. Governor Beshear released a statement that says in part at some point, Matt Bevin has to realize there is a time to campaign and a time to govern. He also added, quote, there was never any attempt to pressure employees to make political contributions, and we followed both the spirit and the letter of procurement laws, end quote. Of course, we'll continue to follow the story as it develops.
The Moorhead Conference Center held the 2nd annual Kentucky Proud Expo last Friday and Saturday. The expo had over 30 Kentucky Proud vendors. NewsCenter was there.
The 2nd annual Kentucky Proud Expo was held at the Moorhead Convention Center. The expo brought in over 35 Kentucky Proud vendors. Rose Marshall is the event planner for the Kentucky Proud Expo. She says that she hopes the community gets this out of the expo.
Kind of open their mind about shopping local and helping out their fellow community members, And we have people from across the state even here today, and it's really amazing just to get the company's names out.
Vendors such as Sherry Jones with TNS Crafts says that this is a family hobby, and she says she wants people to know that there is more to life than just money.
We do this as a family to spend some family time and to actually bond. This is a fun project. We do it, it's not a job. When we started this was initially to help my sister because her husband had got killed in a tractor accident and we needed the money for funeral expenses, and it's kind of grown over the year.
Jeff Lambert with Jenny Wiley Dulcimers hand makes mountain dulcimers in his wood shop in Sandy Hook.
2002, they became the official state instrument of the Commonwealth, and they are an old Appalachian instrument. You play them on your lap for the most part. They're real easy to play. I tell everybody, if you can count to 7, pat your foot, you can play the dulcimer. I've made about 1,500 of them since I've been working. These are handmade. They're unique, one of a kind. I don't care if they even look alike. No two instruments sound alike.
Buying Kentucky Proud products strengthens local economy by keeping the dollars at home and building a sense of community during the process. Kentucky Proud keeps Kentucky growing. Reporting for NewsCenter, I'm Courtney Howe.
Last weekend, ROTC offered a physical challenge for students. Brian Courtney has the story.
Morehead State University's ROTC program dared students to be bold this past Saturday. The event was held at Eagle Lake on the Eagle Loop Trail and was organized by the cadets to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Morehead State University's ROTC program.
It took a lot of planning. It took a lot of creativity, coming up with ideas for obstacles, coming up with how the event is going to actually be ran. This is the first time that we've ever done anything like this, so we're pretty pumped to have a good foundation, a good basis for that.
Events like this could become annual if there's good feedback from students.
We always like to try to hold an annual event, regardless of what it is, a 5K, or like this is going to be a mud run.
So far, the response for participants has been positive.
It was pretty awesome. My favorite part was climbing the rope up the vertical wall and the low crawls through the mud. The tires made me want to just cry because I thought the first ones weren't that bad, and then I had to go through almost half the course, and then I had to do the tires all over again. It was pretty tough. I definitely plan on doing it if they have this event next year.
Reporting for NewsCenter, I'm Brian Courtney.
Coming up, Chris Horn has your forecast in the NewsCenter Weather Center.
And NewsCenter investigates a growing problem we're seeing in the community. Stay with us.
If we both drink, how are we getting to this party? You leave that to me, young buck. You leave that to me, young buck. There's better decisions I can make than to get in the car with a drunk driver. I can get a shuttle, an Uber, even call a friend. You know what, kid? That's not a bad idea. Why didn't I think of that?
This is Charlie. Charlie wakes up and gets ready for class like most students. But Charlie doesn't have breakfast. Charlie feels unfulfilled. This is Nick. Nick gets up and gets ready as well, but Nick makes breakfast and feels great. Don't skip the most important meal of the day. Eat breakfast.
And welcome back. Right now it is scattered clouds, 75 degrees. Yes, it was really warm today, but the clouds did not let the sunshine come through. But events today like SOAR, it was really good today. Looking at our record temperatures back in 1976, 89 degrees. We were almost up there today. We're just 14 degrees off. Looking at it back in 1983, 24 degrees. Whew, that's one chilly day for this time of the year. Looking at our normal highs and our normal lows, we are above our normal high. That is right. And our temperature for tonight will also be above our normal low. Looking at our temperatures brought to you by WKYT. Commonwealth, you're sitting in the 70s, except for a little bit of western part of Kentucky. You're sitting in the 60s today. That's right, the 60s. Richmond, you're sitting at 73. Lexington, also 70. Frankfort, you're sitting at 74. Louisville, you're one of those cities that's seen the 60s, 64 degrees. Looking at our radar today, rain. Rain is coming into the Commonwealth for today. Central part of Kentucky, you'll be seeing that later on tonight, and as well as the eastern part of Kentucky. Now looking into tonight, thunderstorms. That is right. Thunderstorms late this evening. Take a raincoat and probably an umbrella just in case. Sitting in the high 50s. Sunset will be about 8:20. And now back to Kinsey.
The 2008 recession affected millions of Americans. 8 years later, how is it still affecting local small businesses? Nick Oliver has the investigation.
It seems to be an epidemic, spreading from one business to another business. Small businesses continually shutting their doors. Brent's Barbershop has been a success story in the midst of gravesites on Main Street.
I've been doing this for almost 14 years now, and it has proven to be a decent business.
The U.S. Small Business Administration tracked the startup of businesses and the closing of businesses through the 2008 recession, and businesses never fully recovered. A factor of consideration are major companies competing against local-owned shops, ultimately assisting them in hanging up their close sign. A reminder that keeps a business like Brent's offering something that he says big businesses can't offer their customers.
You know the person, and that alone goes a long way. The personality of the person, getting to know them that well, you really tend to miss that when you go with a chain type business.
As time continues and another election year passes by, the hopes for another thriving Main Street in Moorhead has a vision of what was and what no longer is. For NewsCenter, I'm Nick Oliver.
When we come back, Chris Horn has a look at your extended forecast, and Nick Oliver is in with your Eagle Athletics update.
Hi, I'm Chad Hedrick, News Director for NewsCenter.
And I'm Leanne Zaproni, Assignment Editor for NewsCenter, and we want to tell you how you can stay connected to NewsCenter wherever you are.
That's right. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/NewsCenterMSU.
Or follow us on Twitter or Instagram at MSU_NewsCenter.
And don't forget to catch us every Thursday live at 5 p.m. right here on MSU TV, Channel 85.
Or see us on MSUTV.net.
And welcome back today. Right now, current conditions, 75 degrees, humidity is 34%. Winds, not really an issue today. They were saying under 10 miles an hour. But events today like SOAR, it was a perfect day to wear those shorts and t-shirts. Right. Looking at our temperatures brought to you by WKYT. Looking into northern part of Kentucky, you were sitting at 72. Frankfort, you were sitting at 74. Looking at our eastern part of Kentucky, Millsboro, you're sitting at 75. London, you also were sitting in the mid-70s. Jackson and Prestonburg, you got to see the high 70s. Ashland, you almost got to see 80 degrees today. Looking at our first alert live radar, rain. Right now in Western Kentucky, you're feeling the rain right now, especially down towards Bowling Green. Louisville, you're getting hammered right now. But for cities like Frankfort and Lexington and Central Park, Kentucky, you'll be seeing this later into the afternoon. But going into tonight, that rain, Moorhead, you're going to be right in that line of fire of the rain. And Hazard and Pikeville going into tonight. Looking into tonight, thunderstorms. That is right. Thunderstorms is the main thing for tonight. Sitting in the high 50s. Sunset, it's going to be about a 16. But take a light coat, maybe an umbrella. But do watch out for the lightning. There is a slight chance for those tonight. Looking into tomorrow, spotty rain. That is right. We'll be seeing this rain throughout to tomorrow. The high for tomorrow be in the low 70s. Sunrise about 6:43. So do take a light coat just in case it does rain tomorrow. Looking at our 7-day forecast going into the weekend, Saturday, we're going to be sitting into the mid-70s, but very nice. Going into Sunday, 80 degrees. That is right, 80 degrees, which is perfect for softball and baseball weather. So don't have to take anything those weekends. Going into Monday, though, we will see some slight chances of rain. But heading into Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll have some more of chances of thunderstorms. That is right, thunderstorms. And Thursday, we will have more chances of thunderstorms.
All right, thanks so much, Chris. Let's send it over to Eagle Athletics with Nick.
Your home for the Morehead State Eagles, this is NewsCenter Sports.
Morehead State University baseball won their series 2-1 against OVC rival UT Martin this weekend. Coming off strong offense and a good defense effort, Morehead managed to defeat the Skyhawks 10-4 in Game 1. However, UT Martin got their win back in Game 2 after a 9th-inning rally, defeating the Eagles 6-4. In the rubber match, Morehead came out swinging, scoring a whopping 26 runs to rout the Skyhawks 26-7. Sophomore Tyler Neiman hit for the cycle, while juniors Ryan Kent and Jimmy Wright collected 13 RBIs together. Morehead State set a school record by drawing 15 walks and came just shy of the total run record set in 1977. NewsCenter caught up with Coach McGuire to get his thoughts on their explosive victory.
Oh, Nick.
We're clicking on all cylinders, and that's been us as a club recently. We're very capable offensively of being a very good club, but we've been inconsistent at times, and that's something we hope to iron out here in these coming weeks. Well, I think part of it is pitch selection, understanding the strike zone, understanding each at bat. Got a lot of guys that are, freshmen that are playing that, understanding that every at bat's different in college. All of them got here because they were good hitters in high school, and fully understanding what it means, how runs happen. It happens because we draw a walk. It happens because we move a runner up. It happens because we extend pitch counts. All those things play a factor in scoring runs as opposed to just getting hits. And I think that sometimes we look at it as just getting hits. Well, I think we played pretty well defensively. Just consistency, both offensively and defensively. We can be more consistent. I thought we pitched pretty well most of the weekend, outside of the 9th inning, in Game 2 of the series. But we're very athletic, and just playing with a consistency defensively, I think, is a key for us going forward. Well, we're getting a little work in on the turf today because we're going to play on a turf field, taking some ground balls, things like that. And we put yesterday in the rearview mirror and focused on this weekend. A very big series. We know we got to win.
The Eagles look to improve their OVC record even further this weekend in an away series against SIU Edwardsville. Game 1 starts April 22nd at 7 p.m. The football team kicked off their spring game last Saturday at Jane Stadium. The game consisted of two 15-minute quarters and featured offense versus defense, both being able to score in an assortment of ways. The offense could score with the typical touchdown and field goals, etc., but the defense could score 3 points for a 3-and-out stop and 7 points for a turnover, and then the usual 2 points for a safety. The spring game attracted a huge crowd Saturday, including alumni who came for the alumni game that took place, regular fans, and some fans from the baseball game close by. The game got the football team really excited for summer ball and the upcoming fall. We caught up with head coach Bob Tenure and a couple of the players to find out more.
These last 2 weeks of practice, we have a new hunger, I feel, especially coming off last season and how we were so close to winning the conference championship. I feel like everybody's buying in this season, and over the summer we're going to hit it hard, and then in the fall it's going to be a good product on the field. With last year, we made it really close. We have a lot of guys, especially me and Austin, came in about 3 years ago, and we never really had a winning season until last year. So now that a lot of the older guys, we get that taste of a winning season. We want to finish it off, for us that are seniors and even juniors. We only have a couple more years. We want to keep that winning tradition up that we just started.
Well, we just got to find a new identity, and I think we started to do that, these last few weeks. But it's tough to really have a judgment on that in 2 weeks because, it's such a short time. But, going into summer, I'm looking forward to staying with these guys and, getting some routes in, getting some, some much-needed reps with these guys. And, in the fall, we're going to really try to step it up. I just feel like we know we were the best team in the conference last year, and I think that brings a little chip on our shoulder this year, and we got something to prove.
We also had our largest alumni participation in our game today. We had 16 or 17 guys out for our alumni game, so great to have them back. Great to have our recruits here. I'm glad it was an outstanding day for weather, and you know, I think even a few fans from the baseball game trickled over to the stadium there once we kicked off. So, great day.
Stick around. We'll be back with more news after this.
It never gets old, huh?
Nope.
It kind of makes you wanna...
Break into song?
Yup. I love the sunset.
I love Eagle Lake.
I love the forest. I love when eagles play.
I love the campus!
And all its sights and sounds.
Boom-de-yada, 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 boom-de-yada.
I love philosophy.
We love diversity. I love English. And all its weird words.
I love the music.
And all its melodies. Boom-de-yada, boom-de-yada.
Boom-de-yada, boom-de-yada.
I love fraternities.
I love sororities.
I love to draw things.
And all the athletes.
I love Moorhead.
It's such a pretty place.
Boom-de-yada, 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 boom-de-yada.
The Wilma Grody Symposium for the Advancement of Women was held in ADEC Monday. NewsCenter reporter Jacob Valerio attended the symposium to learn more.
This event was created by a committee when I was president that Wilma served on. It was a committee that it was actually a commission. I appointed a large group of ladies on a commission to study what the curricula should be like for a women's program. We did not have a women's program at that time. And Mrs. Grody served on that committee. And it was that committee, I think, some of the people on the committee at least, thought Wilma should be given some recognition. And so they created a symposium in her name for the advancement of women, that's what it's called. And for several years they had a program like today in recognition and honor of Mrs. Grody. It's very clever, it's very nice. A lot of the artwork, I went through it, and the artwork is very well done. And it certainly depicts well the plight that women have even today, where they do not make as much money as a man does in the same position, where they don't get the same advancements, opportunities to grow as men do. And
Wednesday Counseling and Health Services hosted a human ribbon event on ADEC lawn. NewsCenter was there.
The event was part of Counseling and Health Services Sexual Assault Prevention Month activities. A rope was laid down in the shape of a ribbon and pulled away when students had lined up around it.
This was a collaboration between our MSU ROTC, and this is the second year that we've collaborated with them. And the real message behind this was that our community stands together for sexual assault prevention. And that's so important in actually preventing sexual assault, having upstanders, or people who know that it's okay to speak out against sexual violence. So that was really what it was all about, that visibility, people knowing the community as a whole support sexual assault prevention.
Student Alyssa Shiflett was part of the ribbon and said the event was important to her because sexual assault is a problem on college campuses.
To be able to bring awareness to our campus, because a lot of people don't know about the facts and the risks, and so this is just like to bring a lot of awareness to the campus. They see this big ribbon and then they ask questions like, why are we doing this, and what are the statistics, and then we can like actually educate campus.
Sexual Assault Prevention Month continues next week with Get Moving for Prevention at the Recreation and Wellness Center on the 26th and Denim Day on the 27th. For more information on the upcoming events, students can contact Counseling and Health Services. Reporting for NewsCenter, I'm Alexis Matthews.
This year's dance concert, titled Shifting Ground, was last weekend. NewsCenter caught up with some members of the production.
I actually started the dance minor program when I first got here in 2008 because they only had classes, but they didn't have an actual program. It is so beneficial to our department and to our community, campus and beyond, because a lot of people aren't used to seeing dance in an artistic form. They're used to seeing hip hop and jazz and shows like So You Think You Could Dance, so they're not used to seeing concert style dance where they're being exposed to modern and jazz and Afro modern and tap, in a different way and in a different form. It can kind of be emotional because we really become a family throughout the whole year, because we start rehearsals in September and then we go and go and go until April, and then finally it's like, here's the big show. It's happening, it's on stage, and it just happens so fast. But we're constantly in rehearsals Monday through Thursday evenings, and then we go to conferences so that they get more development in their training. But overall, the bigger picture for me is inspiring the younger generation who don't get to see this.
It's definitely about coming together, everybody with different personalities and different types of styles of dance, coming together as one. For me personally, I love the energy that other people bring to make something big like what we put on stage today. My favorite role was the civil rights piece with me and my partner Danielle, and then Zach and Jessica and Holly. They rotated each night, but that was probably my favorite just because of all the lifts and the partner work that we do.
I was in 2 pieces. The first was the headphone piece, and then I was in the final jazz piece, Dynamic, with a 9 in it. So I got to do a lot of modern, a little bit of African, and jazz, and it was wonderful. Appreciate every single thing you do a day. As Natasha always tells us, we could be sitting in a classroom, getting a lecture, and we get the opportunity to dance on a stage and express ourselves, and we get to inspire an audience, and that's amazing. It's an enormous opportunity to do, and you never know who you're going to impact.
That's going to be it for us tonight. I'm Jacob Miller.
And I'm Kenzie Thompson. Have a great evening.